how are you? It's Fabi here, and I have a very, very simple yet very, very powerful question for you today. And that question is, do you have a really clear grasp on what your brand voice is? Like, do you know what you sound like, what your message is, what it is that you want to say, and how you want to communicate with your audience? Because what I have found in so many years working with so many entrepreneurs, business owners, coaches, all these different people, is that really there's nothing more powerful in your brand and in your business than having that clear grasp of who it is that you are. I remember when I was starting out in my own business, when I took it online about almost 4 years ago, I felt pretty unsure and with a lot of lack of confidence in myself and in my message and what made me different. And I was trying to conform to this vision of what was, professional and what was good and what was right and what was credible, so that I could get people to fall in love magically with my brand and all the things that I was doing. And the truth is that I failed miserably at it, because the more that I try to fit this mold of who I am and just sounding like everybody else, the least that people would be able to connect, or the less that people would connect with me, right? Because it wasn't me. I wasn't showing up authentic. I wasn't showing up in a way that people could resonate. And it just pulled people away from me more and more, because they couldn't connect, right? And we live in a world where everything is really based on connection. There's nothing more powerful and more profound and deep than having a real connection with other people, especially in this world that we live in, where everything is available, right? We have all this information available to us anywhere. Like, you could just take 5 minutes on Google and find pretty much anything and everything out there. So really, the only thing that we have in order to basically take our businesses to that next level, in order for us to really, capture the attention of the right people, is connection, is authenticity, and our own stories and experiences and the things that make us different. But the thing is that a lot of people struggle with uncovering, okay, what is my voice? Like, who am I? What is my core message? I feel like this is probably the thing that people struggle with the most. When I look at the clients that I've worked with over the years, and when I look at the people that I've talked to over the years, what I really notice is that most people, this is what they're struggling with. They're struggling with defining what their core message is about. What is the real outcome of what they do? How do they position themselves? How do they connect to their audience? How do they really build those connections that are going to take their businesses to the next level? Because it's not only about selling, and it's not only about making more money and making a larger impact or income, but it really is about impact. It really is about, okay, how do I actually connect with people on a deeper level? How do I make sure that people can look at me and say, okay, I get what you're doing, I get what you're working on, and I want to figure out how to do it myself. So, answering these questions is really, really fundamental, and it's going to make the big difference between you kind of like dabbling and not being 100% sure of what you're doing. This is the reason why when you're implementing marketing strategies that are really, really powerful and great, for some reason, they're not working for you, right? And I don't know if this is something that you can relate to or not, but I remember when I started my business, I hired all the best coaches. I did all the best programs out there, people who were getting amazing results and making like millions of dollars a month using these programs. And here I was like, I don't know, like, it's not working, something is off, there isn't alignment. There was something there that I felt like was missing. I was following every strategy to the T, every little detail, all the things people were telling me to do, all these coaches that I hired. And I am an implementer like crazy. Like, you have no idea how much I love implementing. So I went in there, I wrote all the emails using the swipe files and did the webinars and did the emails, and the ads, and did all of the things. And it still felt like something was off. It still felt like something wasn't hitting home where I wanted it to, and where I felt was like, okay, this is actually what I want to say, but for some reason, it's not working. So I don't know if you can relate to that, or if this is something that has happened to you in the past. And what I noticed over time was that what was missing was me. What was missing was my own touch, my own personality, my own authenticity, the genuine truth that I could bring to the table, this uniqueness that only I could bring. But sometimes uncovering what your brand voice is really, really hard. And it took me a while to get there. And it was once that I got it, it was like that thing that was missing, suddenly like it just started flowing and it started working. And I see this happening with so many of my clients too. A lot of my clients come to me and they're like, okay, Fabi, I have kind of two types of clients. I have one type that are like, I don't know anything about anything. I'm completely lost. I haven't tried anything and I need help. And then I have another set of clients that are like, okay, I have tried all these things and something isn't working and I need it to start working. So usually what I see happening is that in both cases, there's this lack of understanding of what your voice is, who you really are. Like whether you're just starting out and you don't know who you are, or whether you've been around for years and you know who you are in theory, but in practice it's not happening. And I'll give you an example. There's a client that I'm working with right now, and she is amazing. And I had the fortune, which is not very common, I had the fortune of meeting her in person about maybe like a month ago or 3 weeks ago. And she's lovely, she's spunky, she's she is like super sassy and fun and sweet. And part of the work that we do together is, we work on marketing strategy. So in her case, what she did was a webinar. So I was listening to her webinar this morning and I felt like, okay, it's almost there, but I'm missing some of you still. Like I need that spunky personality. So sometimes, uncovering what your brand voice is like you might know who you are, you might be clear of it, but for some reason, it's like the moment that you turn the camera on, the moment that you turn the video on or the recorder or the podcast or whatever you're doing, like even writing, it's like you become somebody else. And it's so freaking weird. Like, why does that happen? How does our voice get lost along the way when it's still us talking, right? Like, does that make sense to you? I find it so, so crazy. But anyways, my point with all of this is that it really is important for you to be able to turn off all the crap, turn off all the things that people have been telling you on how to do things, where to do things, the way that you do things, all that stuff, that we've been like fed in our brains and in our heads again and again. And instead of doing the shoulds and the things that, everybody else is telling you to do, kind of go back and reconnect to who it is that we are, reconnect to our truth, reconnect to, our message. Like, what is your message? And the thing is, again, going back to what I was saying, sometimes what happens is that we have such a hard time defining what your message is, especially because what I see happen very, very often is that we're not about one thing. We're about a lot of things, right? Like there's a lot of different things. Like, look at me. I help people with messaging, with web design, with marketing. I'm a copywriter. I'm a graphic designer. Like there's so many things. Like how do I put into simple words what my message is about, what I'm about? Like, how do I simplify all these ideas? So what happens is that we struggle with it. We go back and forth, and then we have one foot here and one foot there. I remember a few months ago, I worked with a client who was a business coach, but also had spent most of her career working in the fitness industry, right? Like, and she didn't want to do coaching for people that were in the fitness industry. What she wanted to do was help women entrepreneurs or female entrepreneurs with business and with their health. And she was like, how do I define a core message that brings these two things together? And believe it or not, there is a way. There is a way for you to be able to look at, okay, these are the things that I do. These are the things that I love. This is my passion. And here's a way in which I can bring all of these things together into one place so that it makes sense. I mean, for example, like I was saying a second ago, you can look at me and you could say, okay, here's Fabi. She is helping people with messaging. She's helping people with branding. She's helping people with defining their offers. She's helping people with marketing, with websites, with all these things. But you could still get a sense that it's really about one core thing. And it's really about giving you the confidence and certainty in your own message and your voice so that you can create breakthroughs in your business and build a brand that attracts. Like, that is it. Core message, all the different things that I do, they can be placed into that one box, whether it's copywriting, or whether it's marketing, or whether it's messaging, it really is about getting you certainty and confidence in yourself and helping you build a brand that attracts people into your business and that you feel, like it even attracts you, if that makes sense, right? Like, because at the end of the day, and I always say this, there's nothing more important than confidence, than certainty, than you believing in yourself above everything else. But the way in which you believe in yourself often comes from you getting clear to who you are, what your voice is, and, what you're about, what that core message is about. So, it always comes back to that. So all of those marketing strategies, all the things that you're doing, all the courses you've taken, all the little things that you've tried to implement over the years, the reason why they're not working isn't because they suck, because they might be amazing. It's because you have lost yourself along the way. And what you need to do is reconnect back to who you are as a brand, who you are as a coach, as an entrepreneur, as a person. Like, what people really want is to really discover you along the way. Hopefully that makes sense. So here's what I have for you, and I am beyond excited. Next week, starting Monday, I'm starting a new challenge. It's called the Breakthrough Brand Challenge. I did this challenge about a year and a half ago, and it was absolutely amazing. And I am so excited to be launching it again. Let me share the link for you guys. It is 100% free. And here's the cool thing. It's 100% pitch free too, which means that I'm not selling anything at the end of the challenge. I'm not selling a course or a program. I'm just doing the challenge for you, where I'm giving you a whole bunch of content, of ideas, of inspiration, of value, so that you can learn how to discover what your true brand voice is and then leverage it to make a real massive impact with your business. And basically, we're going to be covering 4 things. Let me just read it up here so that I don't mess up. So we're going to basically start with defining how to use your brand superpower, so that uniqueness to your advantage, and leverage your strengths to stand out from everybody else. I'm going to help you define who your squad is, who your people are, and understand exactly who they are and how to bridge the gap between where you are and where they are, so that you can effortlessly make more sales. You're going to learn how to nail your core message, which is what we're talking about right now. And finally, connect to your audience, creating massive impact and income. And finally, we're going to build momentum and influence with this secret to lead generation that nobody else out there is talking about. It is really, really powerful. Last year, I did it live. I haven't done it since last year, like April or March of last year. And it was so amazing, so powerful. People got like insane results. We had somebody that was going through the challenge, and as she went through the challenge, she was sorry, I got distracted. She got like 3 clients during that week. I mean, all these amazing things where I'm going to get you to take action and really uncover who you are, what you're about, what your message is, and what your brand voice is really about. It is so much fun. So make sure you guys sign up. It's FabioPaolini.com/challenge. It's 100% free, happening next Monday through Thursday of next week. And I know you guys are going to love it. But anyways, really what matters here is you uncovering what your brand voice is really about. Like, that is fundamental. I'm not even kidding. It is really, really important for you to be able to do that. Courtney says, Fabio, you've helped me so much. Fabi, friends, you need this in your business. Fabi's the best, hands down. Courtney, I love you. She's amazing. And we're just getting started, Courtney. Anyways, so yeah, I really recommend you guys going back to the basics, like I was talking about a second ago. It really goes back to, who are you? What are you about? What is your message? What is the outcome? What is the benefit? What is the result that people get from working with you? When you are able to understand that, I promise you that the impact that you are able to make in this world is going to go like beyond what you have ever even imagined. Because it's not really, again, it's not about like, oh, I'm just going to do this little thing, I'm going to do that thing. It's about, this is who I am. And you have to understand, and I said this before, we live in a world where competition is infinite. Like, there is competition for everything. There's alternatives, and there's cheap. There's people that are selling the same thing, sort of, that you're selling at $10 and somebody else that's selling it at $100,000. There's competition on price, on style, on services, on alternatives. There's so many people doing something similar. This is the world that we live in. So if you aren't able to define and understand with certainty and with confidence who you are and what makes you different, you can bet your ass that people are going to run the other way and just hire one of the other people out there. And we need them to hire you, because if they hire you, you get to make a bigger impact. You get to change the world. You get to change their lives. And maybe what you're offering is so much better too. So anyways, I can't wait to watch you guys and see you in the challenge in the Facebook group. It's fabipaulina.com/challenge. And I will see you guys there on Monday. Make sure you sign up for free, 100% free, 100% pitch free, not selling a course or program at the end of it. So I can't wait to have you in there really soon.